Des Moines, Iowa. I'm Omaha, Nebraska, and Sewickley. I have an academic understanding of municipal authorities, not first-hand knowledge, but what I would like to bring to the table is mature judgment on issues. And if you're interested in having me as part of my new board, I'd be certainly welcome to give my full opportunity. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions?
Well, I looked over your resume carefully. It's very, very interesting background and experience. But right now, you got caught in a set of circumstances that, and the person who is going to return is a certified plumber, and so he has that side of the action, not your side of the action. I do want to thank you very much for showing your interest, and we may call on you in the future.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Glasses.
And we had another hand in the back of the room. Something else. Okay. All right. Anything else with respect to the authority?
No.
All right. QB COG. I'll actually defer the report to Art because I was not at the COG meeting.
Yeah, I did attend the COG meeting, and the vast majority of the conversation was on the recycling program. They did have a gentleman there from the recycling company who sounded very experienced and very confident. There was somewhat of a confusing conversation going on between the chair of the COG and Avalon. And it sort of got left that the only decision that they reached was that they were now open to negotiations between the chair and Avalon on whatever Avalon's objections were to it. And he didn't really explicitly say, he said, be in favor of this piece of paper and put it back down. So
Okay.
that's the extent. At the end of the meeting, Susan, the executive director, described a new program that she would like to start called PI, which is Project Ideification. I looked it up, it's not in the dictionary. But anyway, it's meaningful some way. But it's really a program looking to form a committee, not a formal one like Paul is, but a committee, a working committee, that is intentioned to encourage and solicit ideas on the 11 communities within the COG for basically public works, but it could be other things. And so everybody listened attentively, and I said, I was the only one that said, I will call you and talk to you more about this because it's fun. And that's about it. So it apparently is in the works, but she just basically just barely hit the starter button.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for going. I appreciate you being there when I couldn't be there.
Sure.
I think that there's sort of just one FYI coming down the pike, which is that they also apparently voted to approve a model resolution.
Oh, yes. Forgot about that.
So that's coming down next month. And what this is they want to start this recycling committee. And I'll give you more details about this next month, but they want us to adopt a resolution in Aleppo that joins this recycling committee. What they want the recycling committee to do, among other things, is organize these events that are several different recycling events. These are in the spirit of the old recycling events. And we have flyers for that here, and I will make sure that I circulate a flyer with the electronic version of the digest as well. And it lists the different things that are coming up in the next, I think it's the whole, in a year, right, Glenn? It covers a year. the different recycling events that the COG expects to sponsor, co-sponsor, or somehow be involved in the next year, what will be collected at each of these events, and so on and so forth. So again, if you want to use those events, we'll get the information out to you. I want to say, though, I want to reiterate what we said in our critically acclaimed trash and recycling video. I want to reiterate what I said there, which is that everything that is on that list of things that you can take at the recycling day is acceptable through our existing contract with Waste Management and the At Your Door service. Everything. Furthermore, the list of the COG Recycling Day events includes fees. It includes significant fees. So, for example, a TV is $30 a piece to take to the event. So that means that if you're going to take, you have to drag the TV down to the Quaker Valley High School on one date, and you have to pay them $30 for them to take your TV away. If you use Waste Management's At Your Door service, we already pay for that. So they will take it. It costs nothing to you as a consumer. They'll take it. They'll take it at your convenience. They'll come pick it up at the door, so you don't have to go anywhere. It really is a no-brainer. I don't want to rain on the parade of the COG events. And if you want to go to the COG event, then by all means, I encourage you to. But we have a service in Aleppo that will pick everything up that the COG events will take for free. Wait.
Tiny caveat is always that the apartment residents at Masonic are not covered by our waste management contract.
That's well understood.
So they would benefit, we could get that out to the residents and they could definitely get that. So I would get more flyers and
Great qualification, and thank you for correcting that.
You get a copy of that. Unfortunately, I didn't keep mine. You get a copy of that in the will, right?
Sure.
Yeah, that person who wrote the letter, because the news,
It's Will White.
Yeah.
he could put that in the news.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking to make sure, because I didn't keep my copy's missing.
That's a good idea. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
So anything else with respect to the COG? All right. Ambulance Authority.
No,
MS4.
No report.
Solicitor.
Well, aside from the comments that we'll get into in the executive session later, I see two items under old business that I worked on and that I would report on. If you'd like to, I could do that in my report. I could go to
Why don't you wait till we get to it?
old business.
Old business.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's then turn to old business. Planning Commission opening.
We have two people who are, in my opinion, well qualified for that, at that level of requirement. And one person is very, very interested in the position. You have a resume. I had a meeting with both of them. One person, one other person.
And then we have the other candidate is here this evening,
Right.
Rich is in the back.
So why don't you come on up and let's have a little get to know you.
Hi, Rich.
Why don't you tell us about yourself?
Okay, my name is Rich Zanovsky. I've been a resident here going almost 10 years. Talking about the planning commission, we had discussions about an engineering background, knowledge of the construction industry. Currently going through a home renovation right now. I'm the general contractor for that, so I'm learning a lot about different codes and plannings and all that kind of stuff as well. I do have a little history working with the township when we put in the sewer systems and resolving issues through the engineering company. So I kind of have some areas about that. But overall, I've been in all my roles in profession. I'm a chemist. In the industry, I'm about growth and planning. And I want to try to be an asset to the community to help think about, making this a good place to live and to work. I have a variety of backgrounds, but if you have any specific questions, I'm here to answer those for you. And I appreciate the opportunity to stand up on you today.
Pleasure's ours. Thanks for coming.
Okay.
Anybody have any questions?
No, I'm not worried. Well versed, right?
Yes. Yeah, next question.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks very much.
you.
All right, so does anybody have any, I mean, we got to take action on it one way or the other. So we either, does anybody have a motion they want to make with respect to the planning commission?
I prefer to postpone that until next month.
So that's a motion to postpone for 1 month.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. All right, let's talk about it next month. Aleppo Township Authority vacancy, we postponed that for 1 month. Okay, becoming a Live Well Allegheny community. I have a motion before we have a discussion. Right? Was there somebody sick?
No.
That we kill this project.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Is that a second?
It's a second.
Okay. I mean, and now I'll explain why.
It's a little bit. I think
Well, I mean, I think there's a couple reasons that I make that motion. Number one, we looked into it. We had Commissioner Scarlett look into it, and I don't know that anybody was on fire with excitement about the program. That's all I'll say. I think on top of which, I just think that there's enough going on that we don't necessarily need to be using a resource.
I would say to be taken to vote.
All right. So all those in favor of killing the program say, or killing our participation.
Well,
Only the county can kill the program.
That's right.
aye.
Everybody
Aye.
understand? Say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Motion carries. We won't talk about it anymore. Okay. Leetwood Avenue property complaint.
In your packet, you have a report from the code enforcement official, and he addressed several of our topics in that one report. So I'll read that. For the property on Leetwood, he has spoken with the sister of the property owner who would like to have a detailed list of violations so she can prioritize and try to start to remediate the violations. He's trying to coordinate with the police to go up to the property for detailed pictures.
Okay, so it sounds
Where is the-
Off of what?
to me as if more time he would benefit from more time. Is that your
Yes.
thought?
Yeah.
So then my motion is that we defer this for 1 month.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Motion carries. Thank you. Glen Mitchell Road corridor improvement. And we have really two different issues here. We have cleanup on Swickley lot on Glen Mitchell Road and Meaner, which we already talked about with the chief. Let's talk about cleanup on the Swickley lot on Glen Mitchell Road.
Still looks big. I think they've done a lot. A lot is gone. But it still looks bad.
Well,
It's just,
was this one of the areas you wanted to report on?
Yes. So at the last meeting, you tasked me along with the zoning officer to review the code, and to see if there were any violations, of the code, your municipal code or the zoning. And the zoning officer, who's also your code enforcement officer, identified, 2 violations, and, then we discussed a third potential violation. I helped him put together what we call an enforcement letter, which lists the violations and gives the violator so many days to get into compliance before they're fined or otherwise held accountable legally. And he has a letter that's ready to go out under the signature. I don't know whether you all have seen it. Yeah, that's it. And again, I don't know what else to tell you other than, those look to me, when we went through it, as the 3 areas where they were potentially in violation, could be asked to clean the site up, and if they do, they do, and if they don't, they'll have to decide.
Joan, you say there's been progress.
I think, yes, I think that I noticed a couple weeks ago that it looked like stuff had been moved out of there. But it's still very messy.
There. We have a photographic record, Glenn? Yes. And was there progress?
Not that we could see in those photos.
There's
So
still
maybe
a
I'm
lot of
just
stuff there.
thinking of
Unless you're going down and stopping your car and actually looking, I don't think you'd be able to see it, but there's still a lot. I think it's a mess. Still
it's
lot
a
of
mess.
work.
I mean, it looks ugly. Yeah.
Should never have been able to get to that point. So, Mr. Solicitor, we are being asked to take action according to this letter.
I don't even think you have to. I mean, that falls within the jurisdiction of your enforcement officer. I think as a courtesy, he wanted you to see what violations he had identified, but I don't think it requires action.
I think we've been very patient for 6 months.
Well, back me through that, Mr. Stone. We don't need to authorize him to send this letter.
No,
If we just sit on our hands, he's going to send it.
Correct. Yes. I mean, he's your enforcement officer. He sends out violation letters to anybody. It doesn't require that you enforce that. I'm sure he'd appreciate it if you want to support him. And it might not be a bad idea given the circumstances if you did vote. But again, it's certainly within his power to write a letter.
Okay. And you've reviewed this letter. You both wrote this letter.
I assisted him with that.
Okay. So then I move that we authorize the code enforcement officer to send this letter as drafted.
Second.
The motion is second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. Motion carries. Okay, and then Meaner, how did we leave that? That your guys continuing to work on it, so we defer this for 1 month? Is that reasonable? Is that reasonable, Chief? Okay, so I move that we defer Meaner for 1 month.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Motion carries. All right, sort of along the lines of Glen Mitchell Road, tents on Weber Road. Who's got an update for me on that?
Same report from the code enforcement officer. Tents on Weber Road. The tents are permitted, however, one is in the front yard, which is not permitted. I've spoken with the property owner and be giving him a couple of weeks to come into compliance before an official notice of violations.
Okay, so we want to defer that for 1 week, 1 month as well?
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Motion carries. Selling salt to the Swiftwood Heights Manor Homeowners Association. Mr. Stone.
That was the second thing that I worked on for you last month. I was asked to research whether the township could sell part of its salt supply that it receives from the Shea Cog to a private resident. In this case, it was an association, but it's the same principle. So here's the thing. There are requirements under the First Class Township Code that if you're going to sell anything, any township property other than real estate, and we've done that in the past. We've sold furniture. We've sold, when we disbanded our police department, there were guns that had some value that we sold with the assistance of the DA's office. But I mean, we have done that from time to time, and the procedure is if it's under $1,000 and you have a resolution that authorizes the sale, you can do it without public auction or public bidding. However, if the value of the of the thing that you're selling exceeds $1,000, you have to subject it to public bid or public auction. So the first thing is you got to figure out how much it's worth and whether you're required to open it up to the public generally by auction or bid. The second part of the analysis, which I really didn't get into in a lot of depth, but it's just a fact, and that is you would in effect be enabling or allowing, if you allow a resident or a citizen to purchase using your tax exempt number. In other words, you're being used to buy something at under tax exemption, and then you sell it to them. You're subjecting yourself to some tax issues that I think would be flagged pretty quickly. And I don't think you can do that without calculating the tax and charging the tax, and then you get into a sales tax situation. So that's the second thing you have to keep in mind. The third thing you have to keep in mind if you're going to do this is that I thought initially there might be a restriction or a limitation on your master agreement with Shea Cog that would limit you from making sales to third parties. I've already checked that out. That's not the case. And I confirmed that with Shea Cog. So I'm not worried about resale and whether that's a violation of the master agreement. But I am concerned about the sales tax and how you're going to charge that and collect it. Also concerned about whether you are going over $1,000 for purposes of public auction. So that's my reason.
I don't think there's any question this amount of salt would be over $1,000, right?
Have we charged and collected sales tax before?
You never sold it before.
Well, furniture.
Anything. The
Furniture
other
and guns?
items that you sold, did you charge sales?
No,
It's
because
under
it
$1,000.
wasn't a resale
Okay.
from an outside agency. It was your own property.
So it wasn't under the tax side.
None of those were. But here, any taxpayer could come in and say, you buy tar and chip. How about putting in some for me? And you know, and that's an evasion of the sales tax. It does create a tax.
Gwen, have you calculated the administrative time required to comply?
I have not, but I've never collected tax and remitted it to the state before either, so we don't have a process for that.
And when would the manor want to do this?
You need the sales tax.
Next year?
Well, yeah, one I got, they need to know, talking to the call,
Talking about 20 tons. And the dollar amount?
It's the current price of $70 a ton.
14.
yeah, it seems projected like 1
I'm not in an effort to skirt the issue, but if there are 2 sales under 1,000,
Or
Sales
you
tax
could,
still applies.
the sales tax.
I understand
would
that.
still apply. I think that would only heighten the scrutiny. that
Right,
we get
yeah.
on tax.
yeah, the flag is higher. I guess the other precedent that we're setting is that if we go along and agree to this, then it would set a precedent for the future. So we're now in the salt business.
Well,
I-
what is their other option?
They currently buy bags of salt and hand load them into a smaller hopper.
But if the problem is that the homeowners association needs municipal volumes of salt, there's got to be some answer that's not you buy it from the municipality and it's not you buy bags from the grocery store.
I don't think 20 tons is a municipal volume of salt.
Okay.
Really. I mean, ours was 900. That was our purchase. So that's
And isn't the other issue they don't have storage? Right. So it would be less money for them, not big enough to figure it out.
If they have to buy a machine on this for 20 tons, they're going to be underwater on this.
All right, well, does anybody have anything they want to propose? We got to take action.
I move that we respectively decline.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, so the motion is to decline. Any further discussion? All those in favor, say, if you vote aye, you're voting to decline. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. All right, the motion carries. Gwen, will you send them some sort of a letter that says that we're declining that?
I will.
Thank you. Okay, SWAT.
Nothing more to report except that both you know and something today. I think that I'm going to have a discussion with George and Dan and Joanne and see what their schedules are and what if they're thinking about anything in order to make it a fruitful series of discussions before the end of the month.
Well, yeah, my motion here is more than just a form motion. Recognizing that down here, my goal is to have the SWAT finished by March 31st. But wait,
the SWAT feature of this is finished.
that's what I want to do. I want to move that we consider the SWAT complete, and if any further action comes out of additional meetings, then we propose that as new business. Does that sound agreeable to everybody?
Second.
All right, it's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Motion carries. Pension analysis.
I have some.
Wow.
In your packet, you have a chart that breaks down the current pension plan and then the new proposal that the board has been kicking around for a while. The current plan gives this, we're talking about non-uniform, which is a non-food, so it's the rest of it. $2,000 a year contribution to the pension plan. And under the new proposal, it would be a 5% contribution of base salary with a minimum requirement of 2% employee contribution. Currently, there's no employee contribution required. So there's a lot of different breakdown on here. It talks about who would be eligible, plan entry date, vesting. Some of that's boring, some of it's interesting. One proposed change would be to include a full year-round part-time employee. So someone who is consistently employed around the calendar in the township, but on a part-time basis. So it's not, we're not talking about seasonal employees, we're talking about
Part-time defined as.
permanent part-time.
Part-time defined as.
To a minimum average of 24 hours a week.
Right.
And so let me just say that we went through all this. We've been using Moffett Humphrey as our pension actuary, and I've back and forth and bounced all this off. So this is according to what their guidelines would allow and recommend. So this has already been viewed by the actuary to make sure that we're not proposing anything. No.
Without holding things up, just for my education, what's the vesting requirements?
3 years before you're vested, and then but then there's any new employee, there's a 6-month waiting period to enroll. So if somebody would hire tomorrow, they would be vested at 3 years and 6 months, but they'd be eligible to enter the plan 6 months from.
So no minimum age requirements.
18.
18.
Our current plan says 18 is the minimum age requirement, and we didn't think about
18
changing.
and 3 years.
3 years. Vested. For the contribution schedule, currently we make a one lump payment during the year. This would be changed to a monthly contribution to the plan, which is just an administrative task that is easy. I'm sure the most interesting part is the cost. And so currently the current plan's cost is approximately $9,500 a year. Because we have 3 full-time employees, so that would be $2,000 per plus approximately $3,500 in fees. That shifts from year to year, but just ballpark feels. Under the new proposal, it would be $13,400 for 2017, and that would be the 3 full-time and 1 part-time employee, plus the same administrative fee, just because we couldn't predict that one. We do get state aid, which reimburses certain pension costs. And that is a set of maximum every year. For my math to this year, I just did 3,500, because that's around what they give it. It changes every year. So right now, under the current scenario, the approximate state aid reimbursement would be $6,000, and because they would reimburse for the pension contributions. Approximate reimbursement under the new plan would be $8,250. So the net cost to the township under the old plan would be $3,500. Net cost under the new plan would be $4,775, with a difference of $1,275. And that difference is just made up for by adding the part-time position, which was not budgeted for.
Okay.
The current full-time employee under this, because this proposal was talked about before budget season, that their different contributions were already budgeted for. So the only difference that would be unbudgeted for 2017 is what, $1,200. And that's the part.
You said
Calendar round.
You said 1,200.
1275, yeah.
1275.
1200, yeah. And as far as procedures go for next, if the board votes to approve this general structure, then it goes back to the actuary sheet, drafts the new plan document and the new ordinance that would be required to adopt it to make it official.
I move to approve the non-uniform pension plan proposal for full and part-time employees
I second.
as presented.
Okay, so there's a motion and a second. Does everybody understand what they're voting for? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Earth Day 2017 project. I am thrilled to announce what's going on here. There's a flyer in your packet that explains what we have going on. It's going to happen April 22nd, 2017. We're going to start at 9 o'clock a.m. We're going to start here at the Township Building. We're going to have donuts. The donuts bring everybody. We're going to have a speaker from Fern Hollow who's going to come and is going to talk to us about Earth Day. He's going to distribute some material. We're all going to go down to the interchange here. Well, we're going to sort of work our way down to the interchange and then get rides back up the hill because nobody wants to walk up the hill. So we'll walk downhill and then we'll get rides back up. We're gonna, if we have enough people, we're gonna go to other sites, but our primary site is gonna be on Deer Run Road here, and we're gonna collect trash. And the Public Works guys are gonna help us collect it and get it in dumpsters. It's gonna be a good event. So we would appreciate if you can come to sign up online. If you go to our website at www.aleppotownship.org, there's a link there to a little quick sign up form, just so we get a sense of how many people we think are coming. So if we need more sites, we can plan for more sites. Again, I think it's going to be a really great event. I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm really excited about it. So I hope everybody will think about coming and helping pitch in to clean up Aleppo on Earth Day. Anybody have any questions? Excellent. I don't think we need to take any action. Finally, on our old business, let's just run through our goals here. You recall last month we were ecstatic because our chairs not sinking, right? Nobody's chairs sinking?
Nope.
Awesome. So then goal number 2, install projection system in the conference room by February 28th, 2017. I'm marking it done. See that? Goal number 3, finalize SWOT analysis by March 31st, 2017. I'm marking it done. See how this goes? Vice President Jones, excited. Hold an Earth Day event by April 22nd, 2017. I'm not marking it done yet, but we're well on our way. Have conversion to QuickBooks completed by June 30th, 2017. Glenn and I have been meeting privately about that. It's a bumpy road.
Underway.
It's underway.
Underway.
Tell me more.
I had my first training in the first
Yay!
account system, so we're working on setting up the account. So
Once you get
underway.
that, I work with.
So far,
You're gonna love it.
Yeah,
please,
once you get the account set up.
Good. Have a system for electronic archive of township documents by September 30th, 2017. Gwen and I are also traveling along that. It's also been a bumpy road, but I think we're definitely going to hit that goal. Produce 4 non-meeting videos by December 31st, 2017. Well, I've already mentioned the critically acclaimed garbage and recycling video. Next on my list is revisiting the issue with Corporal Sinkoviak about solicitation. So prime the pump for me. Let him know that I'm going to start talking to Sleeve. He and I talked about that a while ago, and then we both lost track of it. So that's back on the list. And again, I have my suggestion to other commissioners, members of the public. If there are videos that you think would be helpful, things you need to know about how to make better use of your time in Aleppo, I'd love ideas for what you think would be good. All around the horn. Create property files for all the addresses in the township and populate those folders with the documents we have by December 31st, 2017. I'm skeptical.
It's a goal.
It's a goal. We
Leave it at
don't meet all
that.
our goals. If you meet all your goals, you're setting the bar too low. All right, so that's our goals. We keep visiting those as we go. Does anybody else have any other old business to discuss? Hearing none, let's turn to new business. And the first thing on the agenda is website. Set the stage here. Gwen and I have gone back and forth on the website that we originally thought that we were going to get a new website designer, and then we thought we were going to keep our old website designer. And we're sort of in the process of thinking we were going to get a new website designer. We went and visited and interviewed with a bunch of website designers. And then when we found out that our old website designer was back and willing to continue to work with us, we kind of realized that maybe we'd gotten very excited about a new website designer, and maybe we wanted to do something new. And part of what we like about the proposal that's in your packet is that it's going to be an entirely new website. It's not going to be reimagining what we already have. I shouldn't speak for Gwen. I think that's important because we've just spent all this money on new signs. We're going to have that new logo for our signs on our letterhead. I think that it would be worthwhile to get a website that incorporates that design and those design elements into it rather than sort of trying to retroactively apply it to what we already have. And while it's a lot of money relative to other things, it's not tens of thousands of dollars. So my motion is that we approve this contract. Now, the reason that we wanted to bring it to you rather than just pay for it out of the budget, which has already been approved, is because it is more than is budgeted. So the contract price is, when? 20, 24, 27, yeah. And budgeted we have 1,000? About. So it's not only a little more, it's double, but again, it's double to the tune of
So it's what, $2,700?
$2,700, yes. So my motion again is that we approve this contract.
Second?
There's a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion?
Yes. Question.
Yeah.
I don't know if you and I had some flirting discussions or comments on the website, and I have a very critical eye for websites. This one, the design that it has, in my opinion, is not intuitive. The person drilled, and you can't drill down very far in it, but if you were drilling down, you can't figure out how to get that. Our current, yeah. And if we're going to get a little bit more spiffy and certainly going to have more subjects or maybe side subjects, but remember that people will not come back to a website where they get lost. And this is one thing that I looked at your website and I mentioned to you. I don't think it has, there's no gophers in there. There's no reason for people to come back. You get their information, okay, thank you very much. So that
Is
would be
the
my
present website?
present. Yes. So that would be
some of the desires that I would be looking for.
Okay, well, let me, I mean, I appreciate your comment, and I agree. I don't like our present website, which is what started all of this off. That there are some issues with that website that we all kind of think need to be rounded out.
It's not terrible. It's just not good.
That's right. I think I probably can speak for Gwen when I say that she's rolling her eyes. Maybe I shouldn't speak for Gwen. No, I'm sure you're going to be on board with this.
Okay.
Gwen and I have some differing opinions on what websites should look like. And I mention that only because that's two people having a conversation and having two different opinions. I am sure that for every additional person we add to that conversation, we're going to get one more opinion about what the website's exactly two more. We're never going to have a consensus of how this should look. And I hearken back to the old idea of a camel is a horse built by a committee, right? So
that was why I framed my comments and your list of desires. So whoever is going to be doing this knows that they have to have, if you would like to have this, and this. Now make it better.
Right. Well, I guess what I'm trying to say is, how do we make sure that you vote tonight to approve this contract, and then in 9 months you're not saying, "Boy, that was stupid money. I'm upset we spent that. I don't like that website." You trust us? You want to get involved in the design? Do you want? I mean, how do we protect that from being a problem?
This is in the process of being developed. Right? I mean, you pick somebody that's going to develop a website.
Correct.
So I think that the art should be.
Have we, do you have a list of other websites that he has designed? Or he or she?
I think it's in there.
They've done other municipalities. They've done
Yeah.
other
Yeah.
He did the other municipality. He did the Allegheny County DA's office.
Okay. I hold my opinions in advance. I'll go in and look at these websites.
Okay. Any other? Well, there's a motion on the table to approve that contract. Is there any other discussion? All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Motion carries. Excellent. Thank you. Second item of new business, and I hate to even spend time doing this because we have so much else going on, but I'm going to anyhow. We'd asked before about Aleppo and where the name came from, and Gwen, I think, opened her yap and said that she wanted to know where the name came from, and I think kind of even challenged me a little bit. So I did some research, and I found an article from March 15th, 2007. The question says, Aleppo is the ancient name of a place in the Middle East. How was such a name chosen for a community here in Allegheny County? And the answer says, well, can you think of one more fitting? After all, Aleppo, Syria is one of the oldest human cities. It was a nexus for numerous trade routes, and at various points in its history, it's been governed by the Hittites, Assyrians, Mongols, and Malamites. Similarly, our Aleppo forms a critical bridge between Kilbuck Township and Swickley Heights, and it reflects all the cultural ferment you'd expect from a place bordering such diverse civilizations as Hayesville and Glenfield. Truth to tell, the story behind Aleppo's name is simple, if somewhat sparse in the telling. The most useful account I could find was in History of Allegheny County, Pennsylvania, which was published by L.H. Everett and Company in 1876, which is, it says, the very year Aleppo was created. According to the text, Aleppo was the name given on the patent of a tract of land now owned by several of the new township's leading citizens. And when the new municipality was carved from Kilbuck, the name stuck. So that also answers your question about whether we came from Swickley Heights
Or Swickley Heights
or
came
Swickley
from us.
Heights came from us, because we came from Kilbuck.
Yeah.
It's a historic name, the book concludes, and no doubt summed up the aspirations of its founders to create a prosperous long-lasting community. In fact, in describing the area, the history engages in some rather ambitious name-dropping itself. The distance from Hayesville, Aleppo Township, to Leedsdale is settled by wealthy families of taste and refinement who have assisted nature in making a modern asylum, it reports. Fabled nymphs might design to dwell there. Why Aleppo was chosen from the roster of historic cities remains obscure, but we can make a fairly educated guess, because Aleppo isn't the only local municipality to import its name from overseas. And then it goes on to talk about Tarentum, Carrick, and Brackenridge. So that, Gwen, is the history of the Aleppo Township name.
Thank you.
Is there anything else I can do for you?
Yeah, that's it.
Good. Okay. Well, that's it. Anybody else have any new business?
I do.
Take it away.
Gwen and I talked about the fact, tonight is the annual meeting of the Swiftly Heights Manor Homeowners Association. It always conflicts with our meeting. They can't change theirs without an incredible administrative pain. We can change ours. Sometimes there are critical issues at that meeting where some of us would like to attend. So I would like to suggest that there is no problem in changing our March meeting to not conflict with theirs next year.
Is this the big meeting?
Mhm.
This is the big meeting?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the annual meeting.
The annual.
Yeah, there have been 2 or 3 occasions where there have been important issues at both meetings and people couldn't attend. Even tonight, there were some people that had a dual mission. The Manor Board advised me that it's very difficult for them to change their meeting date. I believe that ours is not so difficult.
We just advertise it with a different date and we make a note of it in the ad.
So I would like to propose that in 2018 and into the future, we change the date of our March meeting to a night that does not conflict with the Swiftly Heights Manor Homeowners Association annual meeting.
I'll second that. But why don't we pick a date? You want to move it to Monday, to Tuesday? We change our March meeting to Tuesday.
Yeah.
And we're just talking about the one of our March
Yeah.
legislative meeting.
If the homeowners association doesn't get a quorum, they automatically advance the meeting to the next night.
Oh, you're right, Wednesday. Good point.
Third Wednesday, the date proposed by the authorities to have their meeting. So that's what we do with that.
Thursday.
Thursday.
Anybody have a problem with Thursday? All right. So the motion as amended is in 2018 and into the future, we change the date of our March legislative meeting to Thursday. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Just that one day. Just that 1 week.
Just March.
Just March.
Yep.
Aye.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Motion carries. Any other new business? Yeah.
I apologize.
No,
Probably
chief.
covered it under whole business. This is discussion we had many months ago about training and whatnot. For the police department, and the discussion you and I had.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're implementing a training program. It's an online basis and traffic transport. I'll keep you up to speed on it, but one thing you're probably interested in, the first 2 modules of the training, you guys will have to take the training. In addition to their normal state training, this is our own training that we're implementing the first 2 modules of de-escalation and use.
Outstanding.
I will keep you abreast, I'll even give you a look at it if you want.
I'd like that. Would you send it to me?
Question, do any of those modules discuss mental illness and
We can pick the modules. There'll be a list of
That
modules.
seems
we
to
can
be
pick.
a big problem.
Yeah, they just had that in the state update.
Right, yeah, or where officers are not aware that this person has a mental illness and how do they detect it? How do they figure it
I'll give you a buzz for that.
I appreciate that. And would you send me a copy of the material if you can?
I'll clean it up and run it.
Thanks, Chief. All right, citizen participate, well, I should ask, is there any other new business? Citizen participation? I see none. Then we are not adjourned because we have a executive session, which I wish I could invite you all to stick around for.
Yeah.
But I can't, so you can leave. We will come back on the record when we're finished with the executive session, but I will not bring the video back. So for those who are watching at home, this is the end of the broadcast. We'll be finished for the evening. I guess I should say that the purpose of the executive session is to discuss pending litigation. All right. Thank you all.